Before the internet became an integral part of our daily lives, the world operated at a different pace. In this video, we'll take a nostalgic journey back to the days when life lacked the online conveniences we now take for granted. How did people connect, shop, and gather information in an era devoid of online conveniences? So, let's dive into the bygone era, before the click of a mouse transformed everything we knew. Before the internet, communication was a more real affair. You couldn't just fire off a quick text or send an email. Instead, people engaged in face-to-face conversations, picked up the phone for lengthy chats, or eagerly anticipated receiving letters in the mail. The internet revolutionized the way we live. Life existed in a starkly different landscape. One of the most noticeable changes brought about by the internet is in the realm of socialization. The way people communicated, entertained themselves, and socialized was fundamentally shaped by the absence of the digital realm. In the absence of instantaneous communication tools like text messages and emails, people relied on more tangible means to connect with friends and family. The written word carried immense weight, and letters sent via mail became a primary mode of communication. Waiting for a letter to arrive was not just a mundane task. It was a thrilling experience, an anticipation that many today can hardly fathom. The excitement of receiving a letter, knowing someone had taken the time to craft thoughts on paper, added a layer of personal touch that modern communication often lacks. The telephone, though revolutionary, was not as casually used as today. Long-distance calls were a luxury and were often reserved for emergencies or special occasions. The sound of a ringing telephone had a unique significance, signifying the possibility of hearing a familiar voice from afar. Before the internet, the family or community would gather around the radio or television for the latest updates and entertainment. During the height of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, students turned to online platforms for classes. However, this wasn't the first instance of remote learning. In 1937, students in Chicago did their work at home via the radio when the opening of school was postponed due to a polio outbreak, showcasing an early adaptation to unforeseen circumstances. Magazines and newspapers served as popular sources of information, but their content was limited to what publishers chose to include. Libraries played a pivotal role in research and learning, where books were the primary source of information. Reading, however, wasn't confined to gaining knowledge. It was also a form of entertainment, transporting readers to different worlds and narratives. Back before the internet took over, socializing was all about meeting people in person. Friends and family gathered at concerts, parties, and other events, creating a vibrant social scene. Being part of clubs and organizations wasn't just a hobby. It was a way to be involved in the community. People were close-knit, connecting with neighbors and building a strong sense of togetherness. The key to these connections was face-to-face interactions, making friendships more genuine. Shared experiences were the glue that held communities together, and real conversations formed the basis of authentic relationships. Before the internet became an integral part of teenagers' lives, their time was spent engaging in outdoor activities, playing sports, riding bikes, reading books, and listening to music on record players. Teenagers danced by themselves or with friends, and going to the movies was a popular form of entertainment. Board games and card games were not just pastimes. They were social activities. Families and friends gathered around to play at home or during social gatherings, creating bonds that went beyond the digital realm. Businesses heavily relied on in-person interactions for sales, marketing, and customer service. Shopping involved physical visits to stores, and researching a product meant relying on word of mouth or printed catalogs. Banking and financial transactions occurred in person at brick-and-mortar locations, and investments were made through brokers. The absence of online transactions and virtual interactions demanded a more personal touch in business dealings. Face-to-face interactions were the foundation of trust, and businesses were deeply rooted in the communities they served. As we rewind to the pre-internet era, we find a world where connections were more than just clicks and likes. They were real, deliberate, and filled with genuine moments. From handwritten letters to lively community gatherings, the absence of the digital curtain brought people closer in ways that resonate even today. Now, as we journey back to the present, I encourage you to share your thoughts and experiences. What aspects of life before the internet do you miss or cherish the most? Drop your comments below, and let's start a conversation. If you enjoyed this nostalgic exploration, Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more content that takes you on insightful trips down memory lane.